Hey guys, welcome back to another Snakes in the Grass. Very important one in my opinion, because kind of talk about and celebrate this 1 year anniversary of being back. For those who don't know, I've had this channel and I've been using it for probably like 9-10 years by now, I think, but this has really been like the 1 year that I've really tried my best being a YouTuber, try and improve, try and really get back into the swing of things, because I really enjoy making videos. I really enjoy, from what now I can see, I really enjoy streaming, for those who've been checking out my streams, like a lot of you have been. But yeah, it's really been an interesting year to say the least. Obviously there was a huge gap and I can't ignore that, because I was busy with real life stuff from May to really around August time, I would say. But apologies for that, obviously, because I was busy with all this kind of stuff that in real life, and I don't know if I'm going to be busy again, but I'll try to at least stream. And also, me looking back, it's time for reflection, think about what I could do better, think about what I've done well so far, and just discuss that with the people in the channel, talk about what's coming next. Obviously, you guys have read the title. At the end of the video, I will be putting in a tier list of the reviewed games that I've done so far. I don't really usually like to do that kind of thing where I give a number or I give a score to a game and then that's it. I won't really give a number to it. It's just, it's a tier list. It's just for fun. Getting into why I started making videos again, just randomly. I just had the idea to return to YouTube. For those who've been here for a really long time, what this channel used to be. It's kind of just like just used to make let's plays. I got the idea to start making different types of videos, like the news type of videos, Snakes in the Grass. And then to be honest, the reason why I stopped Snakes in the Grass for so long is because I was starting to get bored of it. I had to change up the format. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't care about the gaming news too much. Essentially what it is a platform for me to rant and enjoying games, stuff like that. It's just a miscellaneous type of discourse that I think is just really healthy and really good for me to just sit down unscripted, just talk into a microphone for a few minutes and get my ideas out into the YouTube world. And essentially the reason I made it was to really act as like that consistent content that people could expect on the channel every week. Let's say I couldn't get a review out, then I could still release a Snakes in the Grass. People could still expect a video that week. But then that kind of just got repetitive, and especially at that time I was scripting out the Snakes in the Grass videos, and you could really tell, you can tell the difference between these ones and the ones that I used to make. But yeah, I got burnt out really quickly with the Snakes in the Grass type of videos, and trying to balance that out every week, making a thing that I didn't really care about him, and also making reviews that I did care about, but it took too much time. So I took a few months break from YouTube, which then basically allowed me to catch up on the kind of reviews, and there was a good period of time where I was just making one video a month, and that was just a review, and that was good, but it wasn't. I still wanted to put more content out there. I just couldn't leave one video a month for you guys and then that just be like a kind of stagnant thing, especially how my channel is small by itself. So then I can't really just upload one video a month and just expect people to just stick around. That's why Snakes in the Grass has come back as the way it is. I'd say the next part would be Twittery classics, just as a small kind of aside that I realized that I needed to differentiate my reviews a bit. So I would say Twittery classics is more of a retrospective. I wouldn't know exactly what to call it, because review might be the wrong word, but it's basically me going back and playing old games, or games that maybe are not old but are still masterpieces and deserve their kind of big well-made video or big important video, right? For example, Fallout 3 right now is the only Twittery classics, but there's a few scripts that I have. So Doom 2016 is one I have the script for, but people didn't vote for it right now. There's also, even though it's not an old game, I would still consider Elden Ring. It's really not an old game at all, to be honest, but it's I feel like it deserves that kind of treatment. And obviously you guys been watching the streams, I think it's clear that I'm gonna make one on Red Dead Redemption 2. And from the way it seems, it might have to go and be differentiated again, because just for my plan for the Red Dead Redemption 2 review, I think I'm gonna cut them up. So I'm gonna make a part 1 and part 2. So then part 1 is gonna be about the gameplay, all that kind of stuff, the world, all the stuff you'd expect. And then the story, I want to make a longer video and give myself the time to really think about the story and sit on it for a while before I go ahead and make a whole video about it and miss out some important parts. But that video is also gonna have it's gonna be definitely a shorter video for the second half, but it's definitely gonna be a important watch for both to get the full perspective. And the conclusion will be in the first video. Just, you know, an add-on to it would be the story. You know, we'll see how it goes. People enjoy it. I might do it some more to like carb the story and the gameplay aspects, but you know, we'll have to see. And then streaming, I think probably was the best idea that I've had, to be honest. I'm having a great time streaming, more than I've ever expected I would. I thought it would be, you know, more daunting and all that kind of stuff. It's something that I want to continue doing and continue pushing and continue making, and kind of having that as like a vehicle to the reviews as well. Because the reason I even started streaming, to be honest with you, is so I didn't want huge gaps between the videos in terms of content. We're now caught up in terms of present now, and now it's about the future. Obviously, Elden Ring review, next review that's coming out, keep an eye on that, keep an eye on the channel to see it, because it's gonna take me a while to do, but it shouldn't be too bad. If I really push and want to make it as soon as possible, it should be not too bad to get done. But then there's also the other reviews that I'm planning. So Batman Arkham Asylum, I already have the script for that, and Doom 2016, I already have the script for that. And I need to start writing the Red Dead Redemption script now that I know I'm gonna cut up into 2 parts. It should be easier to get done, but I don't know what I'm gonna say about, like, it's gonna be a really long say about it, but I think it's gonna be my longest review. And then that's just, you know, basic content stuff that's coming up, but I want to talk about the future of the channel, what I want to try to do. So obviously streaming, they're going to be a very important part if you want to check out the streams, and essentially it's going to be where you can interact and really get my thoughts for the review, for the games I'm reviewing and all that kind of stuff before the actual review, so people can enjoy that and you know talk to me, talk to the chat, really get a feel. There's also other stuff I want to do in terms of content and streaming. So definitely, you guys have seen who've been around the channel, you've seen I've been putting out some polls, and the next game we're going to be doing after Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be Dead Space remake, and it's going to be, I don't know what the name of it is, I just had to say it, the indie horror game as well. I can't remember the name of it right now, I have to check, but yeah, it's going to be those 2, and then an RPG as people have determined. That's in terms of streams, what you can expect. There is some other content ideas I want to get out there, but that's going to be for future, you know, in terms of, I don't know, maybe in terms of a Discord server. It came up in the chat, but there is already a Discord that I haven't put out there because other people need to go ahead and, you know, check it, that I know in real life. You know, I want to invite them first and then see, you know, how the experience is for people coming into the server, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to make a Discord and then there's a hole in it or something like that, or like it's badly designed, because then it reflects badly on that kind of stuff. A few other content ideas that I have that will be for the future. Anyway guys, that's it for this portion of the video. Next up is the little fun tier list. I haven't done it yet, so I'm gonna do it basically now. So cut to that part now. Okay guys, this is the tier list, as you can see. I think everything is good. Yep, so here's every game that I've played, or no, here's every game that I've reviewed on the channel so far throughout the year, and I'm going to put them into each one of these tiers. We're going to go in one of these tiers. The best game that I've played, I would say, is going to be the best. Obviously, there's going to be one game in the best tier, and then there's going to be, you know, the rest is going to be okay. If it's, you know, good, bad, masterpiece, great, but we'll just see how it goes. Let's start it off now. Okay, Blasphemous, I think it was one of those games for me. Just looking back, it's a game that is I'm interested to see and play Blasphemous 2, because obviously it's just, there's a sequel out there and they just got some DLC, so I want to go ahead and play that at some point. I might play that on stream. It was one of those games that I think it had a good base as a kind of like Metroidvania kind of Souls, like in that kind of genre, and definitely was good, and it was a great base for them to build off of. But it wasn't I wouldn't call it a masterpiece. I'd say I'll change these later, but I think I'm thinking between great and good, because it wasn't okay, it was at least good. But I have to say, was it great though? I'll put in good for now. Okay, Cocoon. Cocoon was a game that I really I think it might have to go into masterpiece, because I really don't like puzzle games. That's the thing. Puzzle games, well, I mean, I don't like them. I mean, like, I've never really found love in puzzle games. Like, I've never enjoyed them to a particular level that, okay, it's a number one type of game, or I would even consider it a genre that I love as much as even other types of genres, right? So I don't think so. For Cocoon to do what it did for me and really made me like that type of genre and look into it more, I think it at least has to go into great. I think it is a masterpiece in terms of its puzzle design and all that kind of stuff. It makes you feel like you're breaking the game without actually going ahead, and like, it creates that feeling of breaking the game that isn't bad. Like, it feels like you're breaking the game enough to where, oh, I'm getting away with a secret, or I'm getting away with something that I shouldn't be, but it creates that kind of satisfying feeling. I think it has to go into masterpiece for now. Ghostwire Tokyo, let me think. In Ghostwire Tokyo, I wouldn't call it this. I think the topic could go as good. I definitely it's an okay game. I think it's the definition of okay. I don't think there was the open world definitely was the main issue. Like, as I was saying before in the review, if I remember correctly, I said if it was a linear game, like the game was designed in a linear fashion, and the whole game was like the school mission, the DLC mission, right? That might actually go into a masterpiece, because there's a lot of aspects to it that are just inflated, and all this kind of bad stuff that we don't really like in video games. That, like, you know, the open world had these fetch quests off the game is actually structured in a linear fashion, but it has that what I mean by linear, I mean is that you can only go through certain points in the you can only go through certain parts of the map as in certain parts of the story. It wasn't it just wasn't good, so I'd have to put it in okay/meh, to be honest. I don't think it's bad, because I think the combat did carry it for a tiny bit, but I think you have to go in meh. And Atomic Heart, I'm missing Bramble. Wait a second, guys. I'll fix that in a bit, but we'll just continue on for now. Don't know why Bramble isn't here. I knew I was forgetting something, but we'll just continue on for now. I'll put Bramble in at the end. So then we have Atomic Heart, if I remember correctly. I wouldn't put this. I'd say it's lower than Ghostwire Tokyo. It was one of those games that just, like, gameplay itself, I think it was good, but there was a lot of aspects in the game, like the story, the writing, maybe it was the translation, right? But the dialogue was just awful. The story as well was predictable. I haven't played the DLCs, but it wasn't, I mean, people want me to play the DLCs, I'll play through them, but it had the potential to be like and you could really tell it was trying to be a Fallout type of Bioshock type of experience, but it just fell flat at the end. Well, not even at the end, it fell flat. Like, I think the beginning sequence is decent. The main character, I just think, is just unlikable. Just looking back at it, I don't think there was a lot of aspects to it that by themselves would be good, but you put them together, they just didn't fit together. Apart from the story was just bad, so I just have to put it there. Okay, I don't think that constitutes it being bad. Maybe if you guys think it does, you can just imagine it going into bad, but I don't think it's. I mean, it was a good first game. I think it was the first game of the developer, so I don't want to be too harsh as well. Yeah, I think it fits good into meh more than okay. Haunty. Say Haunty. I think Haunty fits into good quite well. It's a good game. It's a nice short kind of. I wouldn't say it's a puzzle game. It's more of like a twin-stick shooter, fun little small game. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I might want to. Okay. Now I'm thinking about it, right? I think Blasphemous is better than Haunty, but so I'd have to move Blasphemous up to great. So Haunty fits good into the good tier, because it's like there's nothing really wrong with it. It's apart from later on it gets repetitive, and it doesn't overstay its welcome like I'd say Atomic Heart overstayed its welcome, and so did the Ghostwire Tokyo. So it was good at the beginning, Some parts got repetitive near the end, but they weren't bad enough or repetitive enough to really cause a problem. Then, okay, so we have Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Okay, now, okay, so I just have to say that it goes into what do I consider? First of all, I have to say it has the best graphics out of any game like on the market right now, maybe apart from maybe some like obscure PC demo type of game, but yeah, it has the best graphics. I really enjoyed the, like, people had an issue with the gameplay in terms of the combat. I liked the intensity of the combat, so it was great in that aspect. Don't know if my only thing is, do I want to put it in I don't know if I'd put it in Masterpiece, because I think there is but would I put it in Masterpiece? Looking back at it, I'd say it goes into the last. Okay, if I put it in Masterpiece, it has to go into like the last slot. But definitely, like in terms of the package, like, and what it tries to be, definitely I think it succeeds in what it tries to be and what people want it to be. You know, maybe it doesn't succeed, but definitely what it tries to be, it is what you get what you get, right? It's not like a deceiving type of game that, okay, I bought the game and I thought it was something else, so I was expecting, you know, another type of game. No, you like the first game, you'll love the second game usually, unless you're like some people magically didn't like the second game, even though it was basically the same, not formula, but the same layout to the second game as it was in the first game. There's a few differences, but you can't really say that one was worse in terms of it being a game. But yeah, I'd have to say the bottom of Masterpiece. It's just a great game, great at what it wants to do, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I think it'll be like, if they want to continue down this path where there is some things I think they can improve on. Definitely. Can't remember what I gave it in the review. I think I gave it a 9.1, but Fallout 3, I think this is just easy. Fallout 3, I think it has to be, I'm going to probably wait until the end to put one into best. For right now, Fallout 3 definitely complete. I think, you know, maybe I wouldn't use the word masterpiece, but I definitely would use the word classic. I mean, it's literally why I started Twittery Classics. It was a great game to play through again. Was in the hype of the Fallout TV show. Enjoyed doing my evil playthrough, and you know, at some point I want to play through Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 on stream, maybe even the old Fallouts, older than that. Yeah, definitely Fallout 3 was a great experience to do. I had so much fun with it. 72 hours, I remember, I think. Yeah, I just want to, it was just a great game to go through again, and it might end up in the best I've played so far, but definitely a time to where I think was the golden age of Bethesda. That kind of middle Xbox 360 era was the peak, and I really enjoyed those games that they made then. Persona 3 Reload, so I have to put a bunch of games into Masterpiece, but Persona 3 Reload was a special experience to go through. It was really one of those games that, it was another eye-opening experience, maybe not as much as Cocoon, but it really showed me, like, maybe I'll do like turn-based games more than, because I used to like turn-based games like a very long time ago. Then I kind of fell out of favor with them, and then I liked them again after like re-experiencing some of the Final Fantasy games, and this really pushed me now to like, turn-based games are a type of game that I like now, and I want to play and review some more of them. So I'd really say Persona 3 Reload had a big part of that, and I really enjoyed it. Story's great. It was my first introduction into the Persona series, and I would like to play some more games. Persona 4, Persona 5. I really want to play Metaphor, and whenever Persona 6 comes out, that will be another game. Really enjoyed Persona 3 Reload. Really great game. And Death's Door, I would put Death's Door. I'll put Death's Door there, and great. And I'll put Death's Door here because there were some aspects to the game that I didn't like. You know, I think that they could do better in a sequel. It was great in what it tried to do as well. The type of game that it tried to present, it was great. It didn't really get repetitive. In fact, I wish there was, you know, in some aspects more to it, in terms of weapons, and more to it in terms of, but in terms of like, they're trying to be like Zelda-like, Souls-like type of game, top-down. You go around as the crow. The story I thought was decent, and I actually really liked that message at the end of the story, and how you know, not to get into spoilers here, but the Lord of Doors and his kind of message presented to the player. And it was also the first game that I streamed, So you know, it kind of, I'll be back with Bramble in a second. Okay, I don't know why Bramble wasn't here. So Bramble is one of those games that not a lot of people would like, I'd say. It was I would say it's a horror game, but it's a mix of type of game. It's like a walking simulator. People think about it as kind of like Hellblade, if you want to use that term. But it also had like I really liked its world and kind of peek into that type of folklore you don't really get to see. I didn't know anything from it beforehand. It was like I really like when this kind of stuff is presented in games. That's something I didn't talk about in Ghostwire, but I like when different perspectives and different ideas from different cultures get put into games and all that kind of stuff. Is why, in terms of it being a game, people might have an issue with it. So the gameplay, you could argue, is not it's not a strong suit, but it's not trying to be a strong suit. I do like the horror elements that it puts in there, so I would put it firmly. There's also the puzzle aspects, which I think do bring it down a bit. Actually, like the puzzle aspects do actively bring it down in terms of certain parts being reused, and it's just kind of disappointing. I put it firmly in good, put it above Haunty. And now for the final, deciding on what masterpiece, move one up to the best game that I've played or reviewed this year so far, and this year of being on the channel. Okay, so it has to be between these two. I think, I'm sorry for certain reload, but the nostalgia and the kind of great feeling that I've had towards Fallout 3 really, I think, just pushes it above. And my love for these types of games and open world, RPG type of games really do. Even though in the review I had a lot of criticisms of the game, no doubt, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I think the game is the best that I've played out of all of these. But that's the kind of tier list that I wanted to make. If you guys enjoyed it,